Hello and welcome to this edition of Intelligent Video Today. I'm your host, Steve Vonderhaar from IntelliVid Research. Join us on today's episode, Geoff Stedman, Chief Marketing Officer over at SDVI. Welcome, Geoff.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here. Thanks, Steve.
So quickly tell us about SDVI. You're involved in the world of media supply chains. What exactly is that, and what does that entail?
Sure. So SDVI has been around about 10 years. And when we were founded, our founders essentially went and met with a number of the major media companies to say, to look at how their media operations were going. And in that analysis, realized that there was an awful lot of duplication of work, missing information, inefficient use of resources, limitations in terms of infrastructure that was aging. And so they thought there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way to make media operations more efficient, more agile, provide more visibility into what's going on. And so the company was founded on this notion of moving the media supply chain to cloud-based resources. And then in that process, really focusing on optimizing all of that. And so, go ahead.
And I was saying, moving to the cloud, that's ahead of the curve for traditional media tool providers. It's been an on-prem world for a long time, but a lot of folks besides you are trying to move to the cloud, but you started quite a while ago.
I think that's right. I think we were ahead of the curve in realizing that the cloud could offer a certain set of efficiencies and elasticity that was actually fundamentally needed in the media supply chain. And I'll tell you why. I kind of go back to your first question, what is a media supply chain? Well, think of the media supply chain really as all of the work that has to be done to prepare content from the moment it arrives in a media company to the moment it gets handed off to a delivery partner. So when a show comes in, it's just a raw show. It's finished creatively, but now it needs to be transcoded, QC'd, checked, maybe localized, different audio tracks, different closed captions, and then packaged up for all the different output destinations that there are in the world. And for some of our customers, there are hundreds of outputs for every input. And all of that really can be improved by moving it to the cloud. And because that work is highly variable, sometimes you've got a lot of shows coming in, or you're doing a big content deal, you need to run a lot of content through your supply chain. Being able to take advantage of the scalability and the elasticity of the cloud to meet that demand, so we can scale up to meet it, we can scale down, really gives you a lot more efficient utilization of the resources.
So who uses media supply chain tools? Who are some of your key customers?
So early customers for us were Discovery, Warner Media, Walt Disney Television. Of course, Warner Media and Discovery have now since combined. So Warner Brothers Discovery is a customer of ours across multiple parts of that organization. Comcast is a customer, NBC Universal, Sky, A&E Networks. So a lot of the major media companies that are involved in handling hundreds, if not thousands, of pieces of content that have to kind of flow through their media operations on a monthly basis. And so really trying to help them realize these efficiencies, help them become more responsive. And we really saw some interesting things. There was an opportunity where A&E licensed a bunch of their content to Discovery to be included on Discovery Plus. Well, the business deal happened so close to the launch of Discovery Plus that they just had no time to process all of that transfer of content manually. It would have taken them 5 people in 30 to 60 days. Fortunately, both of those companies utilized the SDVI Rally platform, came to us, and together we figured out how can we connect our Rally systems, and we were able to process that content and move it from A&E to Discovery in less than 16 hours. Absolute game changer when it came to A&E's ability to respond to new market opportunities. And since then, they've really taken advantage of it.
Yeah, that's amazing. It makes you wonder if the media guys actually appreciate that technology feat of daring do.
I think one of the interesting things is that prior to being able to do that, the operations side of a media company was always seen as the limiting function for the business side. That has flipped. And the business side now sees the operations side as capable of supporting whatever deal they can do, and they feel much more free to go sign new content deals.
Yeah, if the business guys can dream it, then the tech guys can do it. I guess
Exactly.
if they have the right tools. So you are dealing with a really a tsunami of content, though. How important is automation in the process of really optimizing the media supply chain in today's market? It was something that really was quite labor intensive at one point in time. But how are changes in software development changing that labor equation?
No, exactly. You know, if you think about the explosion of content over the last 10 years, that's really what is providing the primary motivation for companies looking to become more capable of handling this throughput. And there's no way they could do that with on-premise manual processes. They just can't. And so we are seeing really the use of automated processing as really the only way to keep up with this volume of content. And when I think of automated processing, I'm talking about things like being able to use an automated QC tool to do an evaluation of a piece of video that looks for potential errors, maybe color bars or periods of black or missing audio or some other, glitch in the video or audio. And then that automated tool can extract or can put out metadata that is time code based. And then that metadata can now guide the manual person to only those spots that need to be checked. And so while there's automation that's making all of this possible, we're also making the human involvement when it needs to happen far more efficient, because now the human doesn't have to watch the entire clip. They can only review the spots that actually need their review. And so we're in the kind of a combination. You're automating as much as you can automate, and you're making the manual operators more efficient for the bits that they need to do. And the combination of that is really going to increase the throughput and increase the productivity of a company's supply chain.
Yeah, not only do you bring in humans at the right time, but you bring in the right video tools as well. I kind of look at SDVI as kind of a video triage solution, trying to figure out where you need to be applying resources to get the best outcome for that particular video output. Walk us through the process of how you invoke other solutions and make them part of the entire media supply chain. It's just not SDVI doing all the work, is it?
No, it's a really good point. In fact, I would say the majority of the work, the actual processing work, is not being done by SDVI. Think of SDVI as providing the platform that is essentially orchestrating and activating those different applications to do the job we need them to do. And at the same time, we're spinning up the underlying cloud resources that are needed to run that application. So we have this concept of application services on the Rally platform. And today there are about 60 different application services that are available. Everything from QC to audio leveling to transcoding to closed caption insertion or closed caption removal. A number of different types of tools that are often needed to do specific jobs down a supply chain. And so in the Rally system, you build a supply chain. When content comes in, we might do an initial analysis to make sure, is it what we expected it to be? What are some of the technical parameters? But then we use third-party tools that specialize in all those other steps in the process to do their job, report back the results. We analyze those results to determine, does something need to be inspected here, or can we move it on to the next step? And so we're deciding all along the way, and we're using and collecting all of that metadata all along the way to guide what happens next. And one of the nice sort of compounding benefits, two kind of nice compounding benefits. One is that because we normalize and collect all that metadata, we can use it to make the downstream activities more productive. So the next application in the chain is working off of better information than they would have had before. And then second, we're collecting information all across that supply chain and have the ability to provide reports and data analysis to say, how long did something take? How much did it cost exactly for that piece of content? So for the first time, customers know exactly what it costs to prepare a piece of content for a particular output destination.
Now, this sounds like the type of solution that only a big media company could love. Do you see a role for media supply chain in the corporate enterprise realm, or are there any beachheads for you folks over in that segment?
Yeah, I think so, but you're right. To be fair, today all of our customers are in the media business. They're all media companies. Some of them big, some of them big, some of them small, but there are a range of them. What's interesting though is a couple of them have recently engaged with us on behalf of their marketing departments. So the marketing departments, which are putting promos together and trying to figure out use some of the content that's already in the supply chain. They're now connecting to the supply chain to use some of the same resources, to use some of the same metadata that we've been able to collect. And so, given that if we start to see more marketing departments within media companies using our solution, it's not that far of a stretch to then think maybe marketing departments in other companies might benefit as well. And as you've talked about this before, many companies are sort of becoming media companies, and the amount of video used in the corporate enterprise is approaching what some smaller media companies do for their business. I think of Salesforce and Salesforce Plus. They've essentially created a channel which isn't that different than some of the other streaming channels that are out there. So yes, I do think there's opportunity. We haven't really touched it much yet, but I do think coming down the horizon, that is certainly something we're going to look at.
And certainly with a cloud-based approach, it's not out of the realm of possibility to license solution for use in an enterprise or a corporation that's using video extensively. It's not like trying to bring a huge on-prem solution into an environment that maybe is not used to such heavy-handed video production tools, but just another cloud solution that can be added to the stack.
That's right. You don't have to have a bunch of IT or video engineers putting specialized servers together and loading specialized applications. It's literally, like you say, a cloud service you can spin up, define the work you need to get done, and then let the platform take over the management of that for you. And the beauty of the Rally platform from SDVI is all that infrastructure, the EC2 instances and all the spinning up of the cloud infrastructure is all automated. That all comes with the platform. Again, something a user wouldn't have to worry about.
Now, one more question. Can't let you go from Intelligent Video Today without talking about the future of AI and how it impacts video production. When it comes to media supply solutions, do we see AI on the roadmap, and what type of features might we be seeing as a result of the integration of some of these next generation capabilities?
Yeah, no, of course, we've got to talk about AI. And interestingly enough, to a large extent, AI is already being used in the supply chain, kind of as content flows through. And where we see that is some companies they bring their content into the cloud, and then they run that content through some AI analysis engines to extract and enrich the metadata that they have about that content. So running it through something like Amazon Recognition or Video Indexer or Video Intelligence API. There's a number of different tools that are being used as steps in the supply chain to collect more information to describe that video. Now that I have more information, I can find it faster, and the real reason is I can monetize it better. Especially in the world of fast channels, where I'm trying to create a lot more content to be packaged up because it fits a certain nuance or genre or kind of theme. If I'm able to find content in my library that fits that theme, I can monetize it that much faster. So today we're already seeing some of that when it comes to analyzing the content. I think going forward, it'll be interesting to see how AI becomes part of the decision-making process within supply chains. So getting a piece of content, analyzing it, knowing what the outputs are, and being able to then use AI to guide the steps, and that should make things go even faster, and be able to make the whole process more efficient and even more automated. To go back to the topic we started with.
Yeah, and I think that, and doubling back to our thoughts of potential corporate applications for media supply chain, AI features embedded within these supply chain solutions. If you're archiving a ton of video meetings held by an organization, you could see those being processed by the system much more efficiently through a good implementation of a media supply chain platform. So interesting stuff, interesting days ahead.
One sort of a corollary to that use case, I'm aware of one company that was using an AI tool, not through SDVI, but using an AI tool to analyze those kind of meeting videos for compliance reasons. So they could catalog everything that was said to make sure that there was nothing there that needed to be addressed.
Yeah, that's many applications for AI in both the traditional video world and in the business video world right around the corner.
Yep.
Geoff Stedman, thanks so much for taking the time to visit with us today. Appreciate your insight.
Oh, I appreciate being here. Thank you very much.
And our thanks goes out to those of you watching today's episode. Be sure to visit us on YouTube. Subscribe to us at IntelligentVideoToday for access to more interviews with thought leaders like Geoff Stedman talking about key trends in the video AI space. For IntelliVid Research, I'm Steve Honorhar. Thanks for your time.